All right, we are going to do what we do every year and list all 58 Super Bowl winners, losers, and MVPs, hopefully in about 5 minutes. Super Bowl one, the Packers beat the Chiefs. Bart Starr's the MVP. Super Bowl two, Packers beat the Raiders. Bart Starr's the MVP. Three, the Jets beat the Colts. Joe Namath's the MVP. Four, the Chiefs beat the Vikings. Len Dawson's the MVP. Five, the Colts beat the Cowboys, but losing teams. Chuck Howley of Dallas is the MVP. Six, Dallas wins over Miami, and Roger Staubach is the MVP. Then Miami beats Washington, Jake Scott's the MVP, and Miami beats Minnesota, and Larry Zonka's the MVP. Then the Steelers win their first. They also beat Minnesota, and the MVP is Franco Harris. Then the Steelers beat Dallas, and the MVP is Lynn Swan. Then Oakland beats Minnesota, and the MVP is Fred Biletnikoff. And then Dallas beats Denver, and the MVP are a pair of defensive players, Harvey White and Randy Martin. I always mix those up. And then the Steelers win two more. Bradshaw's the MVP when they beat the Cowboys. He's also the MVP when they beat the Rams. Then you get to the 80s. The Eagles lose to the Raiders. The MVP there is Jim Plunkett. Then the Niners win their first Super Bowl over the Bengals. The MVP is Joe Montana. Then then Washington beats Miami, and the MVP is John Riggins. The Raiders beat Washington, and the MVP is Marcus Allen. Then the Niners beat the Dolphins, and the MVP is Joe Montana. The Bears beat the Patriots, it's Richard Dent. The Giants beat the Broncos, and it's Phil Simms. Washington beats Denver, and it's Doug Williams. The Niners beat Cincinnati again, and it is Jerry Rice. Then Washington beats Denver, and the MVP is Joe Montana. Then the Bills lose four in a row. They lose to the Giants, and it's Otis Anderson. They lose to Washington, it's Mark Rippon. They lose to the Cowboys, and it is Troy Aikman. They lose to the Cowboys again, and it's Emmitt Smith. The Niners beat the Chargers, and Steve Young is the MVP. Dallas wins again over Pittsburgh. Larry Brown's the MVP. Green Bay beats New England, and Desmond Howard is the MVP. Denver beats Green Bay, and Terrell Davis is the MVP. Denver beats Atlanta, and John Elway is the MVP. St. Louis beats Tennessee, and Kurt Warner's MVP. Now we're up to the 2000s. The Ravens beat the Giants, and Ray Lewis is the MVP. The Patriots beat the Rams, and the MVP was Tom Brady. Dexter Jackson's the MVP when the Bucks beat the Raiders. The Patriots beat the Panthers, and Brady's the MVP. The Patriots beat the Eagles, and Deion Branch is the MVP. The Steelers beat the Seahawks, and the MVP is Hines Ward. Then the Colts beat the Bears, and Peyton Manning is the MVP. The Giants beat the Patriots, and non-Hall of Famer Eli Manning is the MVP. Then the Steelers win again. They beat Arizona, and Santonio Holmes is the MVP. The Colts lose to the Saints, and Drew Brees is the MVP. The Steelers lose to the Packers, and Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. Then non-Hall of Famer Eli Manning beats the Patriots again. The Giants beat the Patriots. He's the MVP. 2012 season, Baltimore beats San Francisco in the blackout game. Joe Flacco is the MVP. And then Seattle beats Denver, and Malcolm Smith is the MVP. New England beats Seattle, and Tom Brady is the MVP. Denver beats Carolina, Von Miller is the MVP. New England beats Atlanta, Tom Brady is the MVP. Philly beats New England, and Nick Foles is the MVP. New England beats the Rams, and Julian Edelman is the MVP. Then the Chiefs start winning. Mahomes and the Chiefs beat the 49ers. Mahomes is the MVP. The Bucks beat the Chiefs, and Brady's the MVP. The Bengals lose to the Rams, and Cooper Kupp is the MVP. The Chiefs beat the Eagles, and Mahomes the MVP. The Chiefs beat the 49ers, the MVP, and that's what we're up to.